Don't get this wrong in the golf swing. We're talking about this left arm. So many of you have been writing in, and today's comment comes in from Oliver Charts. He said, how can I relax and at the same time keep my left arm straight in the backswing? So if you're new to golf, what we're talking about is this position. When Oliver's feeling like he's getting it locked out, it's feeling a bit too tense. Now, in the golf swing, you want to achieve something like this, but is it affecting your power if you're bending it? Let's crack on, but also got a bonus coming up in this video as well, so stick around to the end. Let's first show you, like, what we're saying here is, when we're swinging the golf swing, what we're looking for, like, sort of that perfect position, I guess, is something that looks a little bit like this. Okay, now, there are many golfers, and actually a former world #1, Jordan Spieth, top of the backswing, we'll put a little screenshot of that here, where he gets a little bit of this left arm being bent at the top. So not necessarily is it costing you a lot of power. However, that being said, if you come down the line here, what I see for most club golfers, when this left arm bends, we tend to stand up and we tend to not move and turn our body as much also. And in simple terms, like, this whole bending action pretty much completes our swing, instead of that being turned with some width. So the first thing you've got to do is go, right, okay, a little bit of bend is not necessarily bad. Too much bend and standing up, horrible. Let's not do that. So the first thing I want to show you here is grip and how this actually has a massive effect. So if you're a golfer with normal grips that doesn't use jumbo grips and you popped it in your palm, your ability to hold this golf club under load, and that would be palm there, you can see on that close-up, is significantly reduced. So what I'm saying here is, you put that club in your palm, that's as much as I can do here and swing the club, so I have to compensate to make a fuller swing, okay? In simple terms, in the palm would usually limit our wrist mobility under load. Okay, look at the opposite here. Place that now in those fingers and that meaty part on top, and my ability to create this, and just follow along. I would really recommend doing this right now, what I'm doing. Look how much easier. I mean, you can visually see how I can set this golf club, keep my left arm a little bit straighter, but not actually have the tension. And that's because that meaty part of my hand is that leverage for me to set it like this. So in answer to that Oliver's question there, one of the main factors that we see is actually not having the correct grip. And we know if we get too bent in the backswing, we tend to throw it away on the way down. So that's the first thing. Let's jump into the next part, where we're going to give you a nice simple drill hooking this in the backswing. This next part, you're not even going to need a golf club to get right. I'd do this maybe even at home. So right now, if you're in the office or you're at home watching this, all you want to do is get your glove hand out in front of you. So your left hand for a right-handed player, this should just simply be the opposite if you're left-handed. And hook under like this. What I want you to do here is, I want you to make some moves where you can see my hand has worked around like this. So maybe come and zoom in on that glove there if you want to see that a little bit closer. It's sort of pointing and matching my lead forearm, and I'm keeping it nice and straight. Now, as I do this, I'm really feeling as though I'm relaxed with this. I'm training that position of allowing my arm to work across my body and keep straight. This is one of the moves that I really, really like for, like, syncing up body movement. So to the top, pause, let it go on the way down. Top, pause, let it go on the way down. Now, if you want to take it a stage further, how I'd bring this into your golf game is, sounds maybe a bit ridiculous this, like if you hear other drills, we say don't grab driver, but in this instant, I want you to grab driver. Do the same thing. Make sure it's in your fingers and just pause and get a feeling for what that is there. Because that's width of arc, that's turn, and that's power. This bending, yes, okay, maybe more levers means I can throw more away, but it's the sacrifice of the inconsistency we don't want. We want width of arc, we want turn, that is our source of more power. And that's our source for controlling that club. So just get that feeling, really just try that. And I can assure you, you're going to enjoy that strike way more. Okay, bonus part coming up right now. So this bonus bit is from Ian Lampett, and it's all about topping, and hopefully this helps you, but also helps his son. So nice and simply, imagine this top of this alignment stick, right? We ideally want to crash it with about, let's say that much on the middle of the face. Now if we're topping, we're catching it up here. We're sort of working our golf club up too quickly. And that's the same no matter if it's an iron or it's a driver. So I want you to think about the bottom of your arc being more to the ground for longer. And that's with any club. So if you were doing that here, a top would be up too quickly. I want it to feel like it stays along the ground for longer. This would really help stay in contact with the ball for longer and essentially find the middle of that club face. So a nice little bonus there if you are topping it and know how frustrating it can be. Guys, thanks so much for joining me.